Well, hello there.
What's happening, Charles? Do.
Well, good
Hey,
morning, everybody.
Charles.
Welcome to
What's
Savari.
happening? What's
Hey, how
happening,
are
dude?
you? What have you been
Not
up to
much.
all week?
Looking at this asshole. Come on, man.
Hi,
Sherman's such a
Sherman.
jerk. You think he'd be nicer to me, you know,
You
taking
think you'd at
care of
least
that.
clean, right? You think you'd at least keep it clean?
I should leave him in your workshop on a hot day. Just
That,
saying, he might melt.
that might fix a thing or two. It just might fix a thing or two.
How are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Well, I think we finally stumbled on the subject that I am going to be able to talk a lot about. Failure. Yeah.
I think we both have some good experience with that.
And when you put soldiering on, I was like, damn it. If I could only spell it right, we should have put soldering on.
Yeah, could have done that too.
Right? Failure and soldering on. So
you
man.
gotta love it. But soldering on, it is all the same thing. We are talking about when you're working on a project and you hit that moment where you realize that you really messed up. And how do you, when you make those mistakes, how do you overcome them and how do you keep going, right? So let's say hello to our chat. And of course, we have in our chat, we have Paul McNary was our first one in, followed by Herb of Fireside Studio. Good morning, gentlemen. Dave Chase was a quick third. Good morning, kind sir. And Ryan Hall had made an in.
Hall.
And
that's my
chatting going on with Ryan, and we appreciate him and all his support.
Absolutely.
And Ryan brought up my weather, and we're gonna have we should have some rain here tonight. And how much is kind of in debate, but we'll see. We'll see where that goes. Good morning to Octopus Ears and Eddie Fay.
Eddie Fay, what up?
Eddie Fay says, great show title. Making mistakes and overcoming, giving us back our title, but telling us it is actually a great title. And so we're looking forward to it. Good morning, Ben Coombs. How are you, kind sir? Let's see. Wayne McConnell, good morning. Good morning, good morning.
Doesn't seem like much, Ben, but it is the beginnings of a guitar. This is how a guitar starts. As an idea and a bag of extra parts. I got a black bridge that's good quality. I got black strap locks. I got some black string ferrules for a hardtail body, and I got black Strat volume and tone knobs.
Very good.
So there's only a couple of things left that I need.
Sometimes you just need that inspiration. I have a Tele bridge and control plate. It's Damascus. I just need to find the right color or fabric for it because it tends to clash with a lot of things, but it's going to look awesome when they go on a particular guitar.
Because there's so much detail in the hardware, you almost want to use a more plain print to kind of offset.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Totally.
So I think we said hello to Wayne McConnell, but just in case we didn't, hello. And Ryan of OU812 is in the chat, and our buddy H is here as well. And Ben comments that soldering would be an episode on his channel.
Soldering on.
We are definitely looking forward to that episode, and we're and it's got to be alive, right? It's got to be alive. Good morning, Janice. Good morning.
Did I show you my soldering gun?
Oh no, I don't think so. Good morning, Hit Metalworks.
Dun, 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 dun. I got the real shit.
Ooh.
Yeah, I got the real deal that you can turn it on. It heats up instantaneously, and it gives you the exact digital number that you want.
Mm-hmm.
And the hand that was on this for years and years designing amazing pickups was Bill Bartolini.
Cool.
It's kind of a cool thing. And actually, it made me a lot better at soldering because having that higher temperature and that accuracy and easier cleanability and all of that just makes your skill that you thought you were struggling with, you just realize you needed the better tools to be better.
Well, and that is often the case where you find out that something is harder than it should be, and it really comes down to the tool you're using. And so more often than not, if it's something you're going to be doing repeatedly, you're better off buying the better tool. And that is a mistake that we've all learned in the workshop.
Absolutely. Well, speaking of failure and wiring, it got to the point, because I'm like severely dyslexic, and it got to the point with 5-way switches, not with 3-way switches for some reason, but with 5-ways, that I would just leave enough lead on them to where when I inevitably wired them backwards, I could just flip the switch. Just enough lead to go, because if I get it wrong, it was always wired up right, but it was just one way or the other, because it's just like, and also I think it's partly the diagrams that you get. I forget the website, but they show you the diagram as if you're looking down through the pick guard instead of if you're looking at the switch. Yeah, I'm like, who the fuck can look through a pick guard?
Well, I am glad to hear that I am not the only one that's considered that, of just flipping the switch around because I wired it the other way. Good morning,
Give yourself just a little bit extra.
Good morning, Bo, Guitar Man 45.
And what you're doing? Oh, what up, Rico? He heard me because he's over like I don't know, 178 hills, and some of them are big.
Mm-hmm.
Between him and I, but it's not that far.
Well, maybe we should move us around because, that's more, less. See, now you're on the West Coast. Now I'm closer.
Oh, that's crazy. But you're down there. Hopefully you get some rain.
You are so.
Hey, I hope everybody watched. I hope everybody watched to the end of your recent video, because if they were to click on and got some info on the fabric topping, they wouldn't have had the true experience. And if you get to the end, you get to see Charles literally experience, and don't leave this channel now to go watch it, but definitely go watch it after if you haven't seen it, where he has on camera, and not only on camera, but his face is like the reaction and the moment that. And I've had it, man, where you realize, oh, that's backwards and it's not going to go, and I'm going to have to go back. And it's epic, and it's like a perfect moment of humanity, and it sparked this, because what happened? You freaking shoulders back, pulled it, I'll pull out the fabric, do it again.
And that is, it was at that moment, I was like, I was convinced this fabric was biodirectional, right? It would go more than one way, because I had looked at it so much, but I had never flipped it all the way over. It was in that moment, and I was like, no. And I had just gotten done saying it was multi-directional too in the video. It's like,
you fooled yourself, right? Yeah, you were telling yourself that but it's definitely multi-directional.
And that was literally what I did when I, when at the end of that piece, I hit stop. I finished pulling it off. I sanded it down. First I, washed off as much of the glue and then sanded it down. And then we went at it again. Now, the video that I actually shot is the third time I was putting fabric on it, because the second time I got the fabric all the way down, there was a hole in the fabric in the middle of the guitar. And I was just like,
what are you going to do?
Yeah, it's like, pull it off, do it again. So the video was actually the third iteration of putting fabric on that guitar. It was interesting. So if you have not watched that video all the way to the end, go back. There are some
at
the end that you'll enjoy, I'm sure.
We've had a couple this week. We had that, and I was in tears, although I am a frequent watcher, so I had seen this clip of Ben last week, but the clip of him tasting this most recent soda is epic. He just couldn't take it, and the can went halfway across the yard. He's like, it was like that terrible. So
it was great. It was certainly, I feel bad for him that he had to taste that though.
Well, it's an honest reaction, right? But people do that hot wings thing challenge and all that all the time. It's all about uncomfortable, honest reactions.
So Wayne McConnell is addressing the name of the show here because he had an epic killer safari yesterday. He found a 1946 Harmony H1215 arch top,
Okay.
a wooden tailpiece in a tortoise pick guard for $100. New tuners and strings cost $125, and he made a new bridge. Now it is completely awesome.
Wow. So
Jealousy
I don't know what those.
jealousy factor is off the screen right now. Same.
I don't know what those things go for, but you're also just bringing back to life something that whatever they're making today and beyond, even the, unless it's super high dollar, is not going to be that quality, is not going to have that much, you're keeping something on earth that should be here. So thank you.
Well, yeah, those old harmonies like that, I have a real soft spot for them. It's like,
right.
I mean, I know a lot of them weren't the best made, but they, I don't know. There's something about their look that just kind of pulls me in and makes me want to have one.
I think through working at the guitar shop for the years that I did the repair shop, I stopped wanting any of the Silvertone or other old vintage but inexpensive vintage. Just because working on them is a nightmare a lot of the time. Yeah. They can be good, but it takes a lot.
Definitely. And we have Cushman NYC has come into the chat here. Good morning, kind sir. Glad you are with us.
Here you go. Failure on a Silvertone when I worked at the guitar shop, right? And my boss rescued my ass. But on the Silvertone, I was some screw. I forget where it was, but it ended up going. No, it was on the head. Had to be on the headstock, and it was probably a truss rod cover screw. Screws came off and whatever, and there were old screws, and somehow one on my bench. Maybe it wasn't the right screw. Wrong screw went back into the wood. And normally, if you have a little bit longer screw than you should have, it'll stop because the wood's this hole. It's not, this kept going. I mean, because I'm so strong, but I know it just kept going and it went right through the headstock. I was like, oops, that wasn't the right screw. Let me go get my boss and explain what I have done. He was able to repair it, fix a lack, or tell the customer what had happened, show them so many problems with it that was the least of its problems. It was
definitely. Hey Seth, hold on for a minute. I'm gonna have to check on something. So let me go ahead and I'm gonna solo you out for a minute. Okay.
Oh boy, don't give me the keys to the castle. What do we do now? Does anybody want to smoke a joint? Dude. Hey, this is a family show. We shouldn't be like talking. Well, this is California, dude. This is not Russia or China. This is California. Hey, man. Still, we have to think of like people that might be in other places. Sure, and we can't just like. What? Hey. So yeah, Sherman was trying to get me to go to the dark side. I should be waiting for at least for the evening time.
I see.
Ben's show, but he wants to get heavy early.
He is a handful. He is definitely a handful. So
he's also, he's an addict.
Yeah. Well, we're certainly hoping that Guitar Man 45 gets the power back on because he says no power, still running at half speed here, but he's going to install large enough generators to run this facility. So he's going to have to put in some generators later. Hope your power does come back on quickly, my friend. And Trev, we're not soldering today. No, we're deferring to Ben to do some live on-camera soldering. So we'll see how that goes.
I was showing off my awesome soldering gun because I was so proud of it.
Yes.
we're not soldering today. Although that is something that gets easier and you fail at. We were just earlier talking about make your switch distance so you can flip it, because when you screw it up, you could just do it the other way.
Yeah. And let's see, Blackjack Guitar, good morning to you. Welcome in. And let's see, I'm just trying to get somewhere near caught up in the chat.
It's all good, dude.
Thank you, Ben. Appreciate that. Yeah, I just had to double check and make sure things are going on. Seth, you were breaking up a little bit, and so I wasn't sure if it was me or you, and I had to make sure all the stuff here was working well and no one was streaming or anything. So,
am I good?
Yeah, you're good now. It was kind of hairy there for a bit.
I'm hairy a lot of the time, so
well,
it's okay.
I'm not going there. Not.
I'm not actually super hairy. I do have a little beard, but I'm not a hairy guy by any means.
See, apparently we're not the only ones, because Janice seems to be having some trouble with her Bluetooth as well. So it is as we saw on Tony's channel this morning. It is a morning of technical intrigue.
Over the years of drinking the coffee, I've developed brown tooth. I don't actually have Bluetooth, but I use brown tooth. It seems to work pretty well for connectivity.
Oh boy, I don't even know.
Oh yeah, I know, terrible.
Here we go. Ben says him soldering live will have to be a pay-per-view event.
Paper burn.
Whoa.
Oh, burns. Yeah. You ever burned yourself soldering? That's fun. Mm-hmm.
Let's see. And I think that catches us up in the chat. So let's kind of talk about that. So that moment, Seth, when you realize you just really messed up.
Do you want one of mine?
Well,
I got a bunch of them, but I got a good one for you.
Why don't you go ahead and give us one, but start with the immediate. What's the immediate reaction? We all saw mine.
Oh, my if I'm honest, like I get really kind of flustered, and then I'm like a little 5-year-old boy, and I go almost into tears, and I run down to my wife, and I say, if she's around, hopefully, and I'll say, I've done something really stupid, and then she'll say, okay, Seth, what's happened? You're gonna be fine. We'll get you a Band-Aid, and she talks me through it, and then I go back upstairs and try to get myself together and keep working. But yeah, so I was working on a customer guitar that was a burst Strat, hardtail Strat. I was 2 humbucker or whatever, and was done with the guitar. Had it together, had pickups in it. Basically, was done working on this bench here that has this flat top table, right? And things weren't completely secured on the top of that table. And I bet I'm not going to have it now, because I've definitely taken the little thing off of that. But it was this little coin for some stupid thing, like a CNN coin, because a long time ago I worked something for CNN for a minute, and I had this stupid coin. And it was sitting up there, but as I'm polishing, this thing's going back and forth just a little bit and a little bit more, and I'm not noticing. And Sherman didn't say shit. Sherman's like, it's coming. And he was watching it the whole time, and he got right to the edge, and he freaking walked up and went and kicked it right off the edge, and it fell, boom, the corner right down on the guitar. But it hit right near the pick guard, dude, to where it was like you could have almost gotten away with it. Mm-hmm. But that's not what I do, right? Especially not with a body that isn't $500 and wasn't supposed to be relic. So I ordered another body right then. Yeah. And then knew that I had that body for a shop guitar, right? One little ding, and that it was going to be a relic. And eventually built that guitar out with some other parts and gave it to my buddy Todd.
There you go.
Yeah, but that was failure, dude. You have to hit that bottom, right? You have to go down into the despair of I have failed. This is because of me. I am responsible. To come up and to be able to get that the moment of, oh my goodness, look what I've achieved, look what I've built. Listen to it on stage. Can you hear my friend playing it and they sound amazing, right? Or my friend has it on their YouTube channel and it looks and sounds amazing. That is the reward, and you can't get that high without or if you do get the high, if all you've ever had is great success and everyone came together great and everybody, then that's good. You probably feel good too, but you don't know how good it could feel until you felt low.
Yeah, and especially if you're any bit of a perfectionist at all, right? And that happens, and especially towards the end. Yeah, and no matter, you can sit there, you can fix everything, you can make it look right, but you in the end know that it's still there. Right, even if nobody can see it, you know it's there.
Absolutely. It's been a struggle living in our beautiful, new, amazing home because of my wife is very much like me and like you and like a lot of our people. With when you build something, even though it's beautiful and amazing, what you want to tell it, oh, hi, here, oh, look at our countertops, aren't they amazing? Oh, but that one spot right there, they did the blah, blah, blah. And trying hard to get beyond that and not realize that that's me picking out and if somebody says, oh, well, what about that little line right there? You can say, we are very much alike. I wasn't going to say.
Most people, there are things that I worry about when I send out a guitar that no one else will ever see. And it's just like, but I know they're there. And so I get hung up on it and don't want to let it go. I want to still try to fix it. And I'm sure you're the same way with the ones that you're sending out as well.
Absolutely.
And now our friend Symmetry, Trev, he has been working on an RG project that he's got going on. And he is heavily into fretwork, right? And he's been leveling frets and recrowning them and everything, and he's got 8 frets left to go. He's taking a little bit at a time to make sure he gets it right. So awesome, Trev. I keep those updates coming. See. And we got a lot of people going back and forth. That's what I love to see in the chat, people going back and forth. And Trev says, if you don't fall down, you're not trying hard enough.
Exactly.
So
exactly. One of the things I used to do when I was surfing, not hang gliding, but surfing, was you go out on a day when it was big and the waves were very intimidating. And I try to just paddle into some bombs first and not try to eat it, but like almost like just go for it to where once I've taken one on the head, one of the bigger ones, it would diminish the overall, it would just make it easier to go right back out and grab another one and hope you don't get held down for a long time. But yeah, you do have to take that initial, and then you get up and just keep going at it. Hell yeah.
You have to. And so Cherry 3Gs with the comment of the day in the chat. In his directorial debut, coming this Halloween from Matt Charles 75N, it's the new modern classic. It's the Texas Fabric Top Massacre.
Oh, yes.
Oh, thank you. You are quite welcome, Trev. I'm looking forward to seeing that project finished, my friend. And Cushman NYC says he broke a string while playing an open mic.
I've done it.
So I've done it
on an acoustic guitar, but it was at like the very end of the song that has this you could look at it on my YouTube. It's kind of embarrassing, but it has this very fast lyric that's going on and on and on, and then the string broke, and I was like, I'm not going to get a different guitar from somebody to finish out the last 15 seconds of the song. I was like, that's it.
Well, apparently it happens. It happens more often than not because Octopus Ears is responding back to Cushman NYC, and he says he's had that happen. It was a total bummer. It was on his Strat, and it all went out of tune, and he had to stop playing. It's like,
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, you change that tension on the from that one string being there, it could throw the other ones off.
Not on a hardtail though. You'd be all right.
On a
You'd be
hardtail,
all right.
look at you plugging the hardtails again.
Just saying, man. I tried to get Tony. I sent him a message for him to stop by after his show. He's probably still going strong, but the reason is to show him this is the candy apple red that he ordered. That's just the color, which should be really killer on the double bound Telecaster body.
Yeah,
which should be freaking awesome.
Well, that is a build he's been wanting to do forever and just could not find the double bound candy apple body.
And so that's a single bound, but they do okay. I mean, for the price.
No, it's wrong. If you're gonna bind the top, you might as well bind the bottom. It's just lazy.
Look, I'm not going to argue with you.
But I'm sorry. I just have opinions on that.
But I think because they spent 13 extra seconds sticking down the veneer, they said, "Fuck that." We're not doing that.
It could be.
This is a cool guitar. It just needs a backplate. I just have liked playing it, so I think I'm putting off doing the backplate, selfishly hoarding it. Because look at the grain. It's got a good grain on the neck.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty fun. What have you been playing?
I have been playing the Vox through the PV.
Nice. Getting some good tones.
I've been playing that in the Cream Telly through the PV, but I have decided that I like the Vox through the PV so much better. The Univox, yeah.
Anything through the PV.
Yeah.
Anything through the PV. So what are some of the failures? Are there any failures in the chat? I mean, our chat, not only is our chat very good looking, but they're obviously very successful at what they do.
Well, Michael Krause has a good one in the chat. And good morning, Michael Krause. He says, many years ago, the singer started on the chorus instead of the verse. Half the band followed, the other half didn't. And he does not recommend doing that.
Yeah, exactly. I was a drummer initially in a rock band and had times where I completely shut down the song because of my inability or something happened or equipment failed. That also happened time to time. I grew up without a lot of money, so I was always trying to piece together steal drum kit parts if I had to, usually from school.
Oh yeah, well, Octopus here says he's learned his lesson from that string breaking. Now he always uses fresh strings before a gig, right? Mm-hmm. Works them in the day. I guess he works them in the day before, make sure they're seated and everything, and ready to go. Ryan Hall
a little bit.
Yeah, well, Ryan Hall said he broke one of his excuse me. I broke one on my Kramer with a Floyd back in the day, and solo just one string leads to finishing the song, finishing song and make it through. And so, on a Floyd Rose, you break a string, you're just out of luck.
That is recommended for almost any guitar, but certainly any conventional trem, non-locking trem. A little bit on each of the nut slots, a little bit maybe where the string contacts the saddle, and it just helps to keep strings. Not keep strings from breaking. It just lubricates the two of the connection points that you might have binding, and you might break your string.
Yeah.
And it's very inexpensive, and it lasts a long, long time. A little tube of this stuff from Nomad. They know what they're doing.
Yeah, I tend to like putting the pencil graphite into the nut slots whenever I do a restring and give them that little bit of lubrication as they go through as well. let's see. Ben says that he could do a whole series of videos on all the mistakes he's made. So you could have blooper reel after blooper reel. You gotta love that. Let's see. And Bonker says that locking tuners can cut the high strings at the pinch.
Yep.
Yeah,
you don't want to like lock stuff down too hardcore. Let's reveal those other guitars.
There you go. And Octopus Ear says he's also had his reverb pedal fail on him on stage, and so he had to play dry with a boost. That wasn't fun either, but he had a backing track, so that helped. And that's why he doesn't cut corners on gear either anymore. So.
Oh, but I'm just kind of thinking like, what a suburban problem. Like, oh man, I had to play my electric guitar, which is awesome to have one, through my amp, which is awesome to have one, with only a boost. Which, dude, don't get me wrong, I am not shitting on you because I've got all this stuff up here. I get exactly what you're saying, but I'm just saying like we're not. Yeah, if our reverb goes out, suddenly we're not happy. We're like, what? Where's my reverb, dude? I get it. Oh, that's funny. That's hilarious.
Well, and Ben was reminding us when you're lubing up your nut, make sure you lube your string trees as well. Very good pro tip there. And Octopus Ear says he uses 3-in-1 oil to lube everything, as recommended by his guitar tech.
Yeah, I mean it's good. I'm obviously supporting Music Nomad because they're cool and they do good products, and I use those.
Hello, Michael B. Live. Michael B. Live is saying hello to everybody. He is listening and traveling, and I certainly hope he's having a safe journey. And everything looks brighter here, brighter there. Dave Chase is saying, but I'm not sure what he's saying that about. And it looks like Seth has frozen on us, and so we're just going to have to soldier on and see what happens there. So tell us, what are some more of your those moments where something went wrong and you had to figure out how to go on, maybe a project you were working on, or maybe some more of this live stuff that you're out playing and something happens? Phil S. Norwich Guitar, good morning. He says that the cleaner at Crooks in Norwich once knocked over the guitar of Andy Powell from Wishbone Ash and really fucked it up. And he says, hi, Symmetry, what's up with the legend? And so we've completely lost Seth. Hopefully he'll come back in here a little bit. He's probably trying to check out what's going on. So yeah, I could see Phil where that is going to be a moment, right? And how do you go on from there? And Stephen Monch says when he started his inlay work on his Hagstrom, he grabbed the book on guitar inlays from the author, mentioned drilling through an expensive Gibson, and his boss just said, "We'll add an inlay and charge more." Oh my. And we got our co-host back. There you go.
I don't know what the hell. It's with Tony, it's with us, it's everything.
All right. Well, I just got a message from Charles Green. Charles Green is lurking and working, and so we appreciate him being out there. Hello, Charles Green.
What up, Charles?
So basically, once we lost you, we're kind of grabbing more of in the chat of these moments, right? And so Monch was reading a book on inlays, right? And this guy was working on a Hagstrom, and apparently the author mentioned that someone had drilled through a headstock on an expensive Gibson, so they just added an inlay and charged more.
Hey, was it Larry's book? Larry Davidson?
It just says a book. I grabbed the book on guitar inlays.
Let us know if it was Larry, because I actually went and met Larry a couple times, and it was kind of hilarious because my boss was like, "Hey, you're gonna go meet Larry. He's the man on the inlays." And I said to Jeff, I was like, "Oh, well, did you tell him that he's gonna fricking meet Seth Presley so he can get ready?" You better get ready, brother. I don't care. You put some inlays in the guitar. You better drive some race cars. You better surf some big waves. You better hang glide. Now, he was really cool. Actually, we chatted for most of the time about hang gliding because his brother-in-law did it or something like that. His workshop was awesome. He's like the middle of a farm, just chilling and doing his thing and like living the dream.
I would imagine if you're doing lays, it'd be someplace where you had peace and quiet because that's some concentrated work, right? And so we've got more things that are flowing into the chat here. Octopus Ear says that a lot of mistakes are just buying guitars without enough research and not being happy and just needing to find out a way to recruit some of that money. And we've all been there, right? Guitar Safari, that's the show. We've all bought a guitar where we're like, well, it sounded like a good idea at the time. And no, it wasn't. No, it really wasn't.
Yeah, I haven't taken too many baths, but I think if you go back, I definitely could find some poor decisions and purchases.
Oh yeah. Michael B. Live said the drummer in the shower at 7 p.m. Show at 7:30. Drive was at least an hour. What to do? All the MPHs. Oh my!
I hate being late.
How about for overcoming failures? Realize I almost fully drilled through my guitar body on his Jazz Blasted, and build years ago. He was drilling a bridge post and stopped a quarter of an inch of the bit tip through. So he went, all the way through that body.
I got a good failure for you. I'll keep it quick. Customer supplied Strat build. They supplied bridge, all the parts, everything. As it's going together, you're putting in the trem, screwing in the trem after I got it all lined up. Flip it over to do the whatever and realize that the trem screws were like it was a Squire thickness body, but American trem screws, and they had gone through, you supplied the parts. So I used your parts and I didn't I didn't pre-measure everything because you supplied it. So that's why it's kind of sometimes good to have us order your stuff.
Definitely. Good morning, Gear Junkie 35. Welcome into the chat.
Gear. Yeah, failure of equipment, right? Failure of equipment. That's a thing. It might not even be you that fails, but you're responsible when your equipment fails. It's on you. You go to the gig and your amp poops out.
Yeah. Well, we have an update from Guitar Man 45. GTE Energy just arrived with 7 trucks in a tree service crew. Looks like they're getting some repairs done. He might have some power before too long. Excellent.
Very good.
Let's see what else we got here. So everybody's saying hello to each other. Phil S. Norwich Guitar says, it's a mystery. It's a mystery. Tonya Wilcox's big song from the early 80s before she married Robert Fripp. And he says that Ben Combs went on a lockdown frame doing the covers with Bob and her 2 friends.
I love doing cover songs. Takes the pressure off.
Oh yeah, and
kind of. I guess
especially if it's the kind of songs the crowd wants to hear, right? So.
Right. I just usually will play Mustang Sally like 5 times in a row.
So Monch said that he's not sure which book it was, the inlay book, and he says he can't find it right now, but he'll hunt it down after the show. So he'll get back to us on that.
It was probably, I think his name is, I want to say Larry Davidson, but that sounds like a guy from TV too. So I could be putting my names together, but it might be right because I don't know. Yeah, man. Well, I don't know what my next failure is going to be, but I'm going to find it. I'm pretty sure. I'm ripe and ready. I'm going to seek it out.
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, it seems to find me no matter where I go, so I might as well say I'm seeking it out.
There you go.
Because then when I find it, at least I go, oh, there it is. I've been looking for that failure all day.
Oh, Octopus Ears adds in he's tempted to buy an older ESP and have it refretted with stainless steel frets.
That is a very good idea. A friend of mine down the street, she owns a pretty cool ESP that I think it may be just the ESP neck on like a old Charvel body, but it's this parts caster that it's a super cool neck, super cool guitar, but the frets are jacked. It just needs a plaque, but it's unplayable right now for the most part. So it's but it is a cool guitar, and I love those old ESPs. Also, if you can find yourself an old made in Sunland, California Schecter from the beginning of the time of Schecter, the beginning days, they're cool.
So we have a story from Chrisman NYC. Said once his drummer broke his bass drum in the middle of a gig, bass drum head in the middle of a gig, and duct tape came to the rescue.
Duct tape will do it.
There you go.
Absolutely. It's vehicle repair. I've never used it on my hang glider because I just would skip it if I got that kind of a problem. But duct tape has fixed a lot of stuff so people can continue on.
Definitely. And Michael D. Live adds in everybody has had a tube go during a gig, right? That's when you learn to talk to the crowd.
My keyboard player would always say, what do you call a musician without a girlfriend? Homeless. And I was like, hey man, we're musicians, and you do live in your car. No, I'm just kidding.
So we've got a question from Dave Chase. He says, what's the most expensive mistake you've made?
Marriage. Absolutely, hands down. Oh, do you mean in the guitar realm, or are we just talking in general?
I think it was guitar related, but
oh, okay. Then it's still marriage. Because I lost the guitars. I didn't actually lose the guitars in that, but on one of my recent divorces. No, not recent. I'm joking. When the time had come, she literally delivered one of my guitars, which is, I guess, cool in retrospect. She brought me my dad's guitar, who my dad wasn't dead yet, but he had given me his acoustic guitar, my stepdad. And when she dropped that off, I was kind of got the hint. I was like, okay, I see. This is not going to go forward. But you know what? Hey, I'm happy about that, brother, because here we are. Guitar Safari, and way better.
I don't have any real expensive mistakes that way in terms of the stuff, because I'm tending to work with stuff that is low value and trying to make it better. But I did have I was wiring a Telecaster once, and I was spinning the wires together so that they would fit through the channels. And where the wires were connected to the pickups on both of them was so weak that as I was spinning the wires together, they spun right off the pickups.
And then you can't get in there. It's just done. Were they?
You're just done. The tabs on them weren't. I tried soldering them back on, but no, not
worth it. Yep. It's nice to be working with parts of less consequence. I have worked on very, very expensive guitars, and you're just methodical. You go take, twice or three times as much time in doing the same process just to make sure that the $15,000 guitar doesn't get damaged.
Right. Steve Rezer's in the chat. He says, hello, everyone. He's been listening while he's doing some remodeling. He wants this done so he can get all his gear back out.
Oh, thank God. Yes. I get it. I get it. Get that stuff done. It's hard to get it done.
Yeah,
I just
I
got this
mean,
shop together. So finally got it to where I can do setups now. I can, do cut nuts. I can do a bunch of stuff. Not quite everything, but we're getting there.
Stephen Munch answers Dave's question of what was your most expensive mistake with I once bought an engagement ring.
And the price went up from there. Right. But okay. So what would be, what have
And
I
then
lost money on?
and we're getting more comments about the tape, right? Not only is it duct tape, now it's Gorilla tape and gaffing tape.
Yeah. Alien tape. Alien tape, you can hang your mother-in-law up on the wall for an hour. Like, here, you just stay here. It's nice. But
Yeah,
no,
but
alien tape.
once that tape warms up, though, she's going to fall.
Nope. Well, hopefully not. But then that puts her in a better area to defend herself. So you don't want to just put somebody in above you, right? That's more difficult to defend.
Oh boy.
Oh yeah, when you're having battle. Oh man, I am so high on coffee this morning. Woohoo!
Michael B. Live says putting any guitar on a credit card always feels bad. Going with that idea, if you've got to put it on your card, you probably shouldn't be buying it.
Can we not please talk about guitars and credit cards, please? So I get it. Like, so I carry a balance on a credit card involved with guitars that are, parts and pieces, because I like to stay busy building, right? And I love doing it. And I have had this feeling that inevitably all guitars sell. So just order the parts and build them and pay the credit card interest fee off of profits as an expense to do business, right? But if people haven't noticed, the freaking guitar market is completely soft right now. Everybody's selling everything. Mm-hmm. Fender's building too much stuff. Fender should just go away. They need to stop, close the doors. Gibson can stay around. But like all these other people, Schecter and all those, come on, just stop. Stop it already. It's too much. Let's buy some of these guitars because I'm poor AF. I want to go out to get some sushi. I need some new underwear. I mean, I'm serious. I got holes that are. So buy a Presley, goddammit. These things are good. They're good guitars. I'm sorry, Charles.
No.
Is this my failure to act normal? I guess I've had a failure today during our show, but I just, these guitars are badass. And I can't believe they got so many of them.
I think I might be able to recoup this. Hold on. Octopus Ears. He said he sold off his first amp for dirt cheap just to move on from it. He should have gotten a fair price for it. He probably lost $800 on that one, but he just had to get rid of it, right? He's like, I got to get this thing out of here.
What was it? Octopus, what was it? I know it's something good. Probably if you lost 800 on it, it probably was a JCM or something cool. I'm sorry, bro. Hey, that makes it when my first amp was a Gorilla. And I just took a picture. I have a picture of me playing that guitar with that amp, and I cropped out the amp the other night just to zoom in on my Gorilla.
And his plot thickens because he also sold a Gibson Hummingbird for $800. Probably could have gotten a bunch more for it.
Oh, you think? Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Here's this picture.
And Michael B. Live says he rushed a refin and broke a pickup at the same time. All fixable with effort, though. Oh, that quality Gorilla amp. There you go.
That's my Gorilla amp, dude. And look at that dude. That dude is like, how old is he? He was like 9 or 10. He's like, I got a V. How do I hold this fucking V? I don't know how to hold a V. I definitely am not holding it right. But that guitar is cool. I wish I still had it. Shit.
And
that was a show we did.
Yeah. Monch says his most expensive mistake in reality was trading his Melody Maker. Don't get me wrong. He loves the Hagstrom he got, but he
Yep.
should have kept it, and he should have kept the melody maker and offered more money for the Hagstrom.
So it's not been guitars as much for me on losing money. I've lost my ass on cars. I used to like race cars, and I would buy, cars, and then I would buy a bunch of, like, just like guitars, I would buy a bunch of parts for the car and put it into the car and make the car do all these cool things and then sell the car. So that was where I lost my ass, more so as far as thousands and thousands of dollars, like more so than guitars. I have lost money here and there, but overall I've been because of my early safari training from my birth father and my stepdad, I have come out ahead in the gear realm for the most part.
Well, we've got some interesting updates in the chat. So Octopus Ears tells us it was a carving rack head, 100-watt tube power amp, and carving quad X preamp, and he basically gave it away.
Yep. Great.
Michael Brown says a really interesting thing there too, because he says a friend used to, and maybe still does, just keep a payment on Sweetwater. So $400 a month, and once something is paid off, he just buys more. It's back up to 400.
Wow.
So that revolving line of credit, I suppose.
That's kind of what I will do. I will only go up to a certain point on my credit card and then once I either sell a guitar, I'll pay the credit card down to where, okay, it's at that threshold now where I'll order more parts. Right. But when the market is slow, it gets to be that I just pay the whatever it is, $200 to hold the balance on that credit card for the month out of my pocket as a expense for being alive.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And Ryan Hall says back in the 80s, where he had bought all his stuff at one shop in Muscle Shoals, he walked out of the door with a Gibson Explorer 84 new, charged it. Those were the days.
Well, damn. That's awesome.
Yeah. And Sadie Lamp Duo had a Jackson Rhodes that was cursed. There's more to the story we need to hear.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. I believe in cursed guitars for sure. Like, because who knows? Maybe it's just the bad energy from someone who owned it or someone who built it or whatever. But there are guitars, it's like 1 in 1,000, or maybe 1 in 1,000 or whatever that I'll touch. And I'm just like, not this guitar. Here, Ross, you work on this one. Nah.
Well, Phil S. Norge Guitar says the most expensive mistake musically could have been having relations with the female singer. The band instantly turned into a classic Fleetwood Mac situation without the money, gigs, or celebrity. Whoops.
And genital warts. Oh shit! No, I'm not saying that. Who knows, right? Who knows?
And of course, Trev has the words of wisdom from his pops, who had a saying: "If it's got tits or tires, it'll cost you money and give you grief."
Tits or tires, yep. And then like boats, right? It's funny that people that are into guitar oftentimes are into there's a subset of things that we kind of all like, and usually they are those kind of not throw your money away, but constantly takes money just to kind of maintain things, whatever it might be. Like we all have our thing.
And Monch says curses can be removed.
You got to take your guitar down to Louisiana and go to the witch doctor.
Take it to the witch doctor, yeah. And see, how do you know? See, that's the thing, though. Where how do you know for sure the curse has been removed?
You don't. We all have seen the Brady Bunch.
It just could be lurking and waiting,
If you have that tiki sculpture with you, dude, you're screwed. You don't take shit from Hawaii. Oh, here we are back on Hawaii again.
Oh boy,
that's some heavy shit.
Oh, What do you think we should do next week for a topic?
What do the folks think we should do next week? Because my brain's kind of fried. Let's see here. Well, I don't know. I'm gonna have to take some.
So Octopus Years had seen a cursed PRS. It wouldn't stay in tune.
Yes, I've seen a cursed Ibanez from this dude who's a fantastic player and has a ton of guitars. He's like, this Ibanez. And then I watched my boss go through that guitar like to a frustration level and then finally conquer it. And it was perfect. And no matter what you did with the trem, it would come back to tune like better than 99% of guitars in the world. Persevere. And you can do it.
So we do have a suggestion from Octopus here. She says, "Dream guitar, best guitar you've played."
Ooh, dream guitar. Yeah, we've kind of done that. We did that with the within reason, right? We gave away $5,000. Did you already spend all your $5,000, Octopus? Because like I saved a little bit. Yeah, a dream guitar. Yeah.
Well, maybe your dream guitar is more than $5,000. So
Wait, no, for me it's actually not. It's not. But I might want a Moonstone guitar because Moonstone guitars are the best in the world. Moonstone, brah. Gotta have a Moonstone.
Well, Michael Krause says most expensive guitar and the best cheap guitar, brand specific, model, etc. And hello, Unbelievable.
What up, Unbelievable?
All right, Janice, look forward to seeing you later.
Hey, Janice, we'll see you real soon. We'll go over there to the music therapy. Hey, so this Carlos Santana thing. Have you ever been married and feel like you can't say anything right? I kind of feel like maybe he was just like said like we're saying when we're driving to the market, blah, 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 and we're just blibbity blah. And then before we know it, like we said some shit that like you can't really backtrack. Like you want to just take the words back and put them back in, and then you realize I wasn't trying to like hate on people. Like he already has a house in the area near me in Sausalito. And if you live in Sausalito and you are exposed to this area, there's really no way for you to function and be a citizen and live here if you are really opposed to LGBTQ or anything in that realm. I'd say 90 to 95% of the people in this area of California are super like down with whatever you want to do. That's cool. It's all good. So I don't think he was like being hateful. I think he was just I think he also maybe does like some Bible stuff that like I'm not into, like, and he's like, this is man, this is woman, which I get, but like just if that's what you feel, that's cool, but just like let other people be their whatever they are. So
yeah, and it's real easy to say the wrong thing in any situation.
Yeah, like when you're married, like you can't say shit right. You just I'm gonna get that done, whatever it is. But it's okay. Luckily, I've got a forgiving partner who just is okay with me.
And I've got one that puts up with me.
Hey Charles, that's an amazing looking shirt that you have on. Not only does it make you even more handsome than you normally are, it's designed to give you this physique that makes you look like as if you had been doing bodybuilding. So that thing's awesome.
Well, we had to have the official Guitar Safari shirt, right? Just had to. And, not that we're marketing or anything, but there might be a mug.
Mine washed off. No, I'm kidding. I can't. If somebody would buy a freaking guitar, please, I could buy my own mug from the shop. I'm just on hiatus as far as spending money, man. I got to sell the guitar.
Yeah.
Come on, Guitar Man 45. Where are you? I'm joking, and I'm not joking.
He is outfitting the studio. He's on a gear pause because he is building out his whole studio complex so we can all go play.
Hit me up. Right on, man. Yeah, we'll think of something good for next week. How to smuggle drugs in your guitar.
Oh my.
Mhm. And then it'll be another thing on failure. It'll be like, Seth, I failed at smuggling drugs. My
Sure.
oops. With the mugshot, with the. Oh
Well,
no, maybe.
I'm going to leave it off with this. I want to let's thank everybody for coming to Guitar Safari this morning and spending time with us and being so active in the chat. We're coming up with a topic next week. Octopus Ears says he needs to sell his 84 Kramer before he can do anything. And been there, done that, understand that. And so Music Therapy Labs is starting his show here in a minute.
Cool.
And so we left the link there for you in the chat. Make sure you check out Ben Combs' show tonight. He's got Dylan Washburn from Flipside Music on as his guest, and so check that out. Ryan of OU812 is going to have an awesome show later on today, so make sure you go check those guys out as well. So thank you for joining us here at Guitar Safari. We will see you next week. We really appreciate each and every one of you. Seth, do you want to take us out?
Thank you guys, man. Thank you for coming and hanging out with this asshole. Hey, come on, dude. I mean, come on, Sherman.
All right,
dude. I love this show. I love you guys, and it's so much fun to come and hang out. And everybody should come to California Customs and chill and go home with a guitar. Just saying.
Sounds like a plan.
Yep.
All right. Till next week, folks.